Welcome to Cádiz, España. We're in Spain. We are now actually no longer in the Mediterranean. We are in the Atlantic, and we are here at the Cádiz cruise port. That monstrosity is not our ship. That is the Carnival Mardi Gras, and she looks like something out of a dystopian novel in a world where the rich people no longer set foot on land. That beautiful petite little lady over there is our queen. Right, and the reason that she is way over there is because that monstrosity stole our berth. So, yeah, I'm not salty about it at all. Anyway, welcome to possibly one of the last warm ports we're going to have on this voyage. Cádiz is a city that claims to be the oldest still existing city in the Mediterranean. Now, or not the Mediterranean, in Europe, not the Mediterranean, in Europe. Now, of course, there are so many cities that claim to be the oldest this or the oldest that, and then they put a qualifier on it. So, yeah, who knows if that's true. There is a traditional date, and I use the word traditional on purpose, of 1100 BC, but the archaeological evidence only points to the oldest signs of civilization here to the 9th century. And so there's a suspicion, oh, well, they're talking about a trading post when historical sources talk about something older. Either way, there has been something here for a long time. It was firmly established by the Phoenicians as a colony in the 7th century BC.
Says hi, audio is good, and how's the
Hi, Susan. Welcome to Cádiz. I'm glad to hear the audio is good. The finger is swollen and conspicuous, and the instructions to not touch it make me want to touch it all the time. I've got super high-powered oral antibiotics, high-powered antibacterial corticosteroid cream, and so hopefully that will take care of it. Yeah. So, yeah, we are now going to enter the old city. You know, like I said, Cádiz has been here for a very long time, but most of the city, as you see it now, seems to date to the 17th to 18th century. It's what happens here in Europe, you know. Part of the deal is that Cádiz is on the very southerly tip, kind of the Iberian Peninsula. Oh, yeah. Right. So if you are coming here on a cruise to this southerly point of the Iberian Peninsula and you cross right from the cruise terminal, there is an tourist information point right here, and this beautiful sort of looks like a Belle Epoque style building. I see lights on inside, so I think so, yeah. Yeah, there are lights on inside. We are here on a Sunday, which means that everyone is out, children are out and playing, families are out enjoying a leisurely Sunday afternoon. The nice thing about Cádiz is that it is really not in and of itself a massive tourist mecca. Basically, it becomes an overnight tourist destination when the cruise ships are here, but otherwise, the old city is still very much inhabited by Spaniards. Yeah, well, now it's not. This is why we're going into the old city. The shade of the 18th and 19th century buildings. There are some 17th century buildings hiding under these facades, but for the most part, the city, has experienced periods of, shall we say, external aggression that has often destroyed it or laid it very low and required pretty hefty reconstruction. Yeah. But it is a very scenic old town for strolling through. Honestly, if we were going to be here for longer, we would have absolutely taken the train up to Sevilla. It's only an hour and a half train ride, and it's pretty cheap. It's 13 euros a person each way. Actually, it was 13. Yeah, I think it might have even been 13 euros round trip. Either way, inexpensive. But we're leaving very shortly at 4:30, and we weren't allowed off the boat until 8:15. So that means basically, this way, that it was a day to spend here in Cádiz itself. But at least the old city right outside the port is indeed very scenic, and it is still very Spanish. Become a tourist colony. We actually ended up taking breakfast at a lovely little place this morning, brunch, I guess you could call it. It was amazing, and
Did it from the person who ate it. It was delicious.
was-
Oh my God.
yeah. So after our emergency room trip, and I'll talk more about that in a moment, my poor husband was super stressed and therefore hungry. I was not. I was just stressed and not hungry. So we found a lovely little place that was open, and it was full of jolly locals eating, drinking, probably not wine yet, but lots of families were out. It was beautiful view in the old town, and the menu had some really yummy looking brunch items. We ended up getting this, what turned out to be a giant sandwich of freshly baked crusty bread. And on the base was a whole covering of fresh sliced tomato, fresh avocado, 2 gorgeously orange yolked eggs fried in butter, topped with jamon serrano and cheese, and then that was, the top layer of bread went on that. It was plate-sized. It was a plate-sized so-called brunch sandwich.
She wouldn't let me eat it as a sandwich, even though she calls it a sandwich.
Yeah, well, the yolks were not cooked to done. They were cooked to still liquid. So no, you don't get to pick it up and eat it like a bloody hamburger. This is Europe. Anyway, it was served with a fork and a knife for a reason. Anyway, it was absolutely delicious, and it was only €8.20. I mean, you can't, that kind of brunch sandwich in the US would just be twice to 3 times that, 3 times probably at least. That, 2 pots of high quality whole leaf tea and a cup of cafe con leche cost us a grand total of €13.90. It was, and that was it. That included everything.
Oranges, just not.
Yeah, I think they were oranges. Yeah, those were unripe oranges. So yeah, brunch was a lovely experience. Oh, and a good sign, the menu had not a single word of English on it. So it is now lunch it is now Sunday lunchtime here in Spain. So everyone, it's Sunday. So Sunday lunch is a big deal. A lot of families go out together and they get some large dish and share it. So it's definitely served family style, as it were. No reception?
No.
Oh.
I can't read it.
Oh, okay. Parece as ruas de Minas Gerais do Brasil, colonia de Portugal. Right? It does look very much like that, doesn't it? I agree. Right, you can definitely see the architectural connections between the Iberian Peninsula and Brazil. It's quite lovely here. I'm confident that many of the locals don't necessarily appreciate it, but it is beautiful. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I teach classes on paella. Have we had paella on shore this time? Not yet. Not this trip. I mean, I have. I've had all sorts of different rice dishes all over Spain, because paella is actually only one of the many rice dishes that are prepared all over the peninsula.
Did you answer them in Spanish about it looking like a colony?
Oh, well, no, he wrote in Portuguese.
Oh, yeah. Got it.
So no, I did not answer in Spanish.
Coat of arms.
The architecture here is just beautiful, and the contrast between the shaded lanes of the streets and the blazingly blue sky. And I would also like to point out that we were informed that there was going to be rain today. But as you can see, possibly from your view, it's a pure blue sky with not a wisp of cloud to be seen. Cool. So many of the cruisers have already returned to the ship. But also we've wandered away on purpose from the tourist areas.
The movie suggestion: we should watch Iradi.
Erodi, spelled how?
IRATI.
Oh.
The imposters of Christianity in Madrid invaded and enslaved the pagan Europe with our secret holy grail,
Oh, yeah.
which is our hidden origin. We've only seen one kitty in Cádiz, and that was inside of a house.
Yeah, it's true. We have only seen one kitty cat here in Cádiz, and it was indeed inside of a window, and there was a little boy and his mother outside, and they were being allowed to pet the kitty who was inside. It was
No gorditas?
yeah. Alguno gordito aquí. Algún gordito. No fatties here.
I totally thought we were going to
Apparently there's a canine conversation happening up here. So they wash these streets every morning with a street washing machine, and even still there are cigarette butts everywhere. It's crazy. Here's a lovely square filled with happy Sunday lunchers, happy families. The city is in its current state definitely has a Baroque face, and in some cases an imperial 19th century face. But if you chip beneath the layers, you can sometimes find older bits. We'll see if we can accidentally find any of those older bits.
We need to find that medieval gate again.
Yeah, right. We're kind of walking the wrong way for that, I think.
Which way do we
Yeah.
go for that?
I think it's back the other way. Let's go this way. Now, the old city of Cádiz is pretty small, so you can literally just walk around. You're not going to get lost. You'll be fine. You'll eventually find where you need to be just by walking in literal circles. Well, I guess this must be a popular homemade ice cream place. Yeah. So apparently, some fun facts. Let's go left. Some fun facts about Cádiz. In 1217, while it was still under Moorish control for a crusade, and they apparently destroyed large parts, including as one does. I said, being out on this bit of land, basically, if you look, it's actually an island. Being out on an island definitely has its major disadvantages, and being on an island on the way to everywhere in the Mediterranean is really not the most strategic location in terms of defense. Unless you've got a good defense, then it's fine. But apparently in 1217, that was not the case. Well, then it's not good, is it? I mean, at that point, the caliphates had started losing their power. It's as with all empires, they had peaked, they had waned, they'd grown complacent, they paid for their complacence. It is the way of things. But, yeah, I see it. Which is something when you travel as much as we have and start really learning the histories of all these different places, not covered in any standard high school history class or even college history necessarily, is that all empires peak, all empires wane. It's only a question of time. But it seems that if you observe timelines, with the advance of technology, the length of an empire's lifespan has been rapidly decreasing on average. Looking back and forth. Okay. Yeah. A great majority of the city, the old city, has been pedestrianized, which is very nice. Ah, yes. 15-minute plug. If you are enjoying this walking tour of Cádiz and enjoying traveling with us as we go along on our adventures, please do like and subscribe. And of course, if you would like to benefit from extra footage and support my travel travel journalism work. I don't know what to call it. My travel vlogging work. Anyway, if you'd like to support me more directly, consider becoming a channel member or a patron. It actually comes with a host of benefits, including extra footage, raw footage. You get to see the version of the cabin tour with all the goof ups and the bad words left in it. I'm about to upload that for those who are curious what I mean. Oh, great. So let's talk about medical emergencies, shall we? Shall we? Let's. While we walk around this beautiful city, one of the most unfortunate things that can happen while traveling is to suffer from a real medical emergency. And I did this morning when I awoke. The middle finger on my left hand was swollen and covered in deep sores, abscess-like sores. And it hadn't been that way 24 hours before that. And I could barely bend it. It was so swollen and it was hot. And the skin was crazy sensitive to any contact at all. So that's bad. Thankfully, we just pulled into port, and so we got off of the ship very first thing. And in any given city in Europe, particularly, there will be emergency hospitals. There will be clinics that provide 24-hour emergency services, and you just go and you can simply pay up front and then submit your bill to insurance. They will always speak English, and they always speak good English if you need it. I don't. I speak Spanish just fine. And in fact, I impressed the doctor this morning. He couldn't believe I was from the US. He's like, but you speak Spanish so well. Well, I haven't spoken it in a long time, so you're getting my crappy Spanish. Anyway, and there are also 24-hour pharmacies in any given city in Europe. In the EU, it is the law. There must be a 24-hour pharmacy. And so all you have to do is look up, Google's a great thing now. Google emergency clinic, it will show you where the nearest one is. And if you Google 24-hour pharmacy, it will also show you where the nearest one is. Tea? Tash. Oh, tea with Tash. Tea with Tash. Tea with Tash. Welcome to Cádiz. I was just giving some medical advice for when one is traveling. If you are American, you might be accustomed to jaw-dropping, bankrupt-inducing emergency room trips. You will not experience that almost anywhere else outside of the United States. It just doesn't happen. So our emergency visit this morning at the 24-hour emergency clinic cost us 149 euros. The prescription medications, my prescription antibiotic cream and my prescription antibiotics added an extra 17 euros to it. So we paid up front and we'll submit that bill to our insurance. But the reality is that that probably would have been my copay if I had had the same treatment in the US. At best. Oh, and actually here we are. We have found the clinic. This beautiful building that you see here, this whole thing is a hospital. This whole building is a hospital. And this is the emergency area, the emergency room. It's called HLA La Salud. The staff were very warm and friendly, worked really hard to get me my bill so that I could submit it to the insurance. And also we're going to email me a copy and all these. So yeah, absolutely fantastic experience. And I've had to use emergency clinics a couple of times on travels over the years. I've had to use one in Germany. I've had to use one in Italy. I've had to use one here. I've had to use emergency dental services in Germany. So, you know, it's always, Oh, yeah, so a week and a half ago in Athens, I scraped, or a little bit longer maybe at this point, almost 2 weeks ago in Athens, a week and a half ago. Anyway, either way, I scraped my finger on a nail that was stuck into a chair in a cafe where we sat so that we could use the bathroom. And I scraped a little flap of skin up. Well, I cleaned it, bandaged it, and it was doing just fine until suddenly last night, I know irritated. And so I took the Band-Aid off and I thought, well, it's just irritation from the Band-Aid. Well, this morning I woke up and it was so swollen and there were sores everywhere and in places that there was no scrape at all, or had not been a scrape. And that the skin was super sensitive to touch, and the finger is almost impossible to bend. It's so swollen. And normally I can bend that finger into a nice, tight little angry fist if I need to. Therefore,
I see it often.
yeah, whatever. You make it sound like I'm an angry person.
You're angry all the time.
I am not angry all the time.
Obnoxious.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, that was a comment I deleted, sadly. I should have left it up. Someone observing that I was obnoxious and pretentious and they hope never to be on the same cruise ship with me again. Yeah, there's some really sweet people out there. Anyway.
He says that our video quality is really low.
Oh, is it? Well, you know what it could be? The buildings, yeah. So here's the problem we are discovering with this historic. Can you all hear me though? Is it that you can hear me and it's becoming more of a podcast? So here's what we've discovered. Unfortunately, for all of you and us even who would like to either experience these beautiful old city districts, and for us who would like to share it, is that these historic buildings were apparently not designed for maximal data reception.
Lead him to the fence. T says, Jesus, I hope I never meet this person.
Yeah, I kind of hope I do, so I can give them little kissies. You know, oh, kissy, kissy, don't let the door hit you on the way out. I mean, here's the funny part, is they were triggered so much by their supposed experience with me that they left a comment. I can't even get those of you who like my content to leave comments.
So, it's definitely just super pixelated.
But you can hear me.
Better yet?
Is it better yet? Well, there's a delay probably. Well, we can go out to the shore, I guess. Right there. I see our ship. Right there. Well, I mean, we're right there. Yeah. Well, anyway. Yeah, today we have, this is a little crazy. We were 2 days in Cartagena, and Cartagena was beautiful. Don't mistake me. The people were friendly. It was a lovely place, but it didn't have 2 days. What I would say, it's not a 2-day cruise port normally. Whereas Cádiz absolutely is, because Cádiz is the gateway to World UNESCO heritage cities such as Sevilla and Cordoba. So unfortunately, only being here, only having access to the city for 8 hours means we have no time to get up to either Sevilla or Cordoba. So it's Cádiz only. So Cunard, if you're listening, if there's any place where there should be an overnight docking, it should be Cádiz. Oh, really? Now the police are coming down this way. Woohoo! We're heading towards the coast, everyone. Hopefully we'll get more reception. Oh, look, they can see pixelated version of Spanish cafe food.
Where they said the picture's much better.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah, so these are pretty typical Spanish pastries. And I mean, yeah, you're going to say, well, those look pretty similar to what you see in other parts of, the Mediterranean, but there's always local variations. You have to remember that Europe definitely does share a certain common heritage in terms of cuisine and baked goods. Thanks in large part to the, centuries upon centuries of intertrading, and also all of the interdynastic marriages, which have basically taken, let's say, baked goods, I don't know, to the crosswalk? I don't know, I was going to cross over and then, I don't know, where should we go?
We've got 10 minutes. So do we want to...
Okay.
Because I think he said the last thing back is 4:20.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's now 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah.
This way?
Okay, we'll walk down this way. Anyway, you've got, centuries of interdynastic relations, bringing cuisines from one part of Europe to another, and then sort of downward distributing from the royal courts. I'll give you a good example of that is the croissant. Everyone thinks of the croissant as being French, but it's not. It actually came from Austria, but it didn't come from Austria either. That kind of dough, that kind of millefeuille dough actually, came from the Middle East. So, yeah, there's variations on a theme. But, there are some things that certainly set Spanish cuisine apart. I almost lapsed into Spanish. Tell you, all it does, it takes a day. That's all I need to reactivate any of my given languages. I just need a day.
See what Tash is doing their family tree and found out that their great-grandfather was a tailor in Rio.
Oh, very interesting. Well, I actually, my great-grandfather was the son of a very powerful family in Brazil. He was the son of the ambassador to the United Nations, or not the United States, the ambassador to the United States from Brazil in the 1920s when he knocked up my great-grandmother out of wedlock. And yeah, we've actually made contact with my Brazilian family. They're doing quite fine. Also, their last name is Birnfeld. But in fairness, that German last name predates World War II. So at least it's not that kind of Birnfeld situation, shall we say. So yeah, I have family in Brazil as well, and I have met some of my relatives down there. We met on one of their many 6-week vacations to Disney World. That should tell you something about their socioeconomic status. And they were actually very down to earth and very kind and warm, and were super happy to meet us. Yeah. So Cádiz is, it definitely feels tropical, and they have a large population of very sassy, adorable, acid green parrots. And we witnessed today a territorial brawl over a nest, in which, after a epic fight, one parrot threw out the other parrot, quite literally. It really was like watching Turkish wrestlers. Wasn't it handsome?
Or they can only use their beak.
Okay, well, no, they were using their bodies too. Remember, they were chest bumping. They were chest bumping. It was very masculine. Right, so the plan is that once our cabin steward turns down a room, makes up our room because we accidentally left the do not disturb sign on because we fled the ship in such a panic this morning, that our room is still a little bit unmade. So once the room is made up, the plan is later on this evening, probably now leaning more towards 6 or 6:30, we will be doing a live cabin tour. So you're going to get to see what our cabin is like. We'll talk about some of the, perks and minuses of our space. And we'll then, if we can, oh, no, we won't be able to. Nope, there will not be a cabin tour tonight. Nope. No, it's going to have to be tomorrow. We're not going to have internet.
Oh, because we'll be gone.
Because we'll be gone. Nope, there will be a cabin tour later. Yeah, I hadn't counted on us leaving so early. There'll be a cabin tour tomorrow, and we'll be doing it in our finery.
He offered to help you find out more about the family if you give her a name.
Oh, no, we've actually, thank you, T, but we actually found them. We found them about 30 years ago, and we actually met up with them.
T has a really good question.
Yes, okay, what's the question?
As a Contessa on a ship, are you not afraid that you'll end up in a mystery novel?
A little bit, yeah, especially with people leaving comments like that. It really is almost like the setup for an Hercule Poirot mystery novel, isn't it? And we just watched the Grand Budapest, is that the name?
The Grand Budapest.
The Grand Budapest last night, which I do believe has the death of a countess in it.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's the woman who dies and leaves him all the fortune, right? Yeah, the count. Yeah, until he gets shot, depending. Yeah. Okay, everyone. Well, I know this was a bit abbreviated, and I'm sorry that everything got so pixelated in the middle. Are there any final questions or comments? We'll just kind of stroll this way while I give you a chance to ask. Yeah, we have to cross over anyways. If you have any final questions or comments, I'm sorry this was shorter than we wanted it to be. Also disappointed that parts of Cádiz are just not friendly towards the mobile data reception. We are heading from here to Vigo, which is a city in Galicia. in northwestern Spain. That will be, tomorrow will be, it's my first time there as well, actually. It will be a sea day tomorrow. For us, we will have Wi-Fi, and I'm going to be doing a medieval sewing party live stream for certain. And we will, tomorrow is Roaring Twenties night, so we will be streaming the Roaring Twenties Gala. And in Vigo is technically the port for Santiago de Compostela, but I haven't actually looked into what it would take to get to Santiago. So we'll check that out and see what other, if we can find any really beautiful medieval cities to explore while we're in Vigo. I'll be honest, Santiago, I'm pretty certain, has been Barockified to a fairly well. So I'm not certain how interesting I am in the cathedral, because it's definitely not the Gothic cathedral it once was. The problem with a country like Spain for medievalists is that many of the sites that certainly are medieval in their origin have been updated with Baroque or Rococo facades, because that was the time of the glorious wealth of the Spanish Empire, which doesn't interest me. I studied art history. Baroque art and art, for the most part, bores me to tears. There's a couple of exceptions. I do like 17th century Dutch masters, and there are some amazing sculptors who come out of Italy in the 17th century, and painters also, but for the most part, it's just overdone and not my thing. So
He said they could look for newspaper articles about your background. Thank you for the tour. Be careful not to be on a mystery novel. Susan says something about loot practice too, please. I'm not sure what that means.
no, you're not sure what that means, huh? Yes, Susan. I did promise we did promise more live stream loot practices, did we not? You are so right, Susan. Thank you for mentioning that. I have been saying for several days now that a certain someone hauled his loot all the way here. He needs to actually make that pain in the ass hauling more worth it. So thank you, Susan. I don't have a 20s dress, because I didn't know when we started this whole adventure there was not going to be a Roaring 20s evening. My condottiero has a vintage 20s tuxedo he will be wearing. I have a beautiful silk bias cut gown that is more like 1930s style, but still, that's what I'll be wearing. You'll see it. It's beautiful. I love it. And the best part is I bought it for $35 on the super sale rack at Lord & Taylor 20 years ago. How's that for great? And it is 100% silk. It is actually a designer dress. It was just like the last of the last. No one wanted it. I snapped that baby up. Yeah, or can we show them our queen maybe? Go up to the bars? Or can they see her?
Play the lute.
Yeah, so there is our queen over there in the distance. Oh, let's show you, for those of you just joining, let's show them the monstrosity. So the reason our beautiful queen is the Helen gone over there, and we have to take a bloody shuttle bus to walk a quarter mile, is because this hideous thing, that's probably going to give me nightmares, the Carnival Mardi Gras, stole our berth. And this thing, my God, she is.
I can't tell, but there's a roller coaster on
There's a roller coaster on the back half of it, on the top. Yeah.
And it looks like the funnel fell over.
It looks like the funnel fell over.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But I think that's I think that's intentional by design to look that way. Oh well. Okay, everyone, if you're enjoying this, if you've enjoyed this past tense, please like and subscribe. I'd like to thank my supporters, Tea with Tash, Susan, who else was on today of my regular supporters? I'd like to thank my channel members. Tanya, thank you for supporting my work. I really appreciate you. Takeda, Han, Laurie, if you're watching someday, I appreciate all of you, my patrons, my channel members, everyone who's part of my growing community.
Mallorca is Atlantis is the only other comment.
Mallorca is Atlantis, yeah. I'd like to thank all the crew and staff and other staff of Cunard on the Queen Victoria who've joined my community, and I'd like to thank you for giving us thus far a fantastic cruise experience. Why are you laughing?
Now let's see what the comments say. It's so huge. Wait, what? A roller coaster? That's a crime against nature.
Yeah.
It scares me how they can plan all this.
Well,
ship so much
so you know what scares me about the roller coaster on top? You know, it just feels like if you get a high C day and you're up there rollering around, that you're just going to kind of, fall off into the ocean. Who wants that? I don't want that. Good God.
Okay.
Okay, everyone, we really do have to go now. Thank you all so much, and I will see you all hopefully very shortly. Tomorrow at the latest. Ow, no, I can't twist. I can't cross my fingers that way. Ah. Hearts.
Can't see it.
Hearts.
Here, I'll show them me.
And that's my cameraman. He's real. Bye, everyone.
Back to you. Wave goodbye while I find the button.